There's definitely been a big problem with the video game industry as a whole, because if you've noticed, games take a lot longer to develop than they used to. And this is honestly a big problem because half the time, the game isn't better than something that you played like 2 years ago, or maybe even longer. Now, what exactly causes this problem? Because recently, why I'm making this video is I saw a leak on the internet and it made me question everything about reality itself and what's going to be going on forward to the future of video games as a whole. Because not necessarily when the game takes longer to develop is it actually a better game, or is it even that memorable experience. It might be a good game, but it might not grab that attention that you are really seeking for. Recently, I've been noticing this trend quite a lot, and the game that I'm going to be referencing is actually GTA. If you noticed over the past week, maybe the game has leaked online, and this has caused a spark of outrage, a spark of this game is the same as a game that came out 15 years ago, and a spark of, well, this isn't my expectations. Now, of course, that game might be one that kind of stands out because the expectations were going to be way too high than you could possibly think. But since it's looking to be like the same game that you played 15 years ago, what does this mean for the future of Nintendo games? Because if you were going to look at it, the next 3D Mario is going to be releasing next year in 2027. This is definitely a really awesome thing, and is it going to be the exact same game? I don't necessarily think it's going to be the same game, but 10 years of development time, where does that go for games moving forward? Because if you were going to look at how long it took to make, I don't know, Super Mario Galaxy, it took approximately 2 years. 2 years to make a game based around galaxies, space themes, something that we haven't seen before. And now you mean to tell me that a game like the next 3D Mario is going to take 10 years? Where did this development time go? Same thing goes with Mario Kart. Mario Kart was thought to be an absolute banger, with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe absolutely wrecking the place. But with 10 years of development time, you would have thought that Mario Kart World wouldn't have been just like 30 simple tracks, but instead something revolutionary. But that appears to not be the case. And if I were to ask you the big question, when was the last time that you fully 100% the game and you actually felt something by doing so? Honestly, I'm gonna tell you that it might have been a little bit. Now you could say Splatoon Raiders. For me, I would say that as well. That was an actual pretty good game. But did I really feel something 100% in that game? Completing everything that the game had to offer? I'm gonna say, well, it's a little bit in between. Yes, I had an absolute blast playing through Splatoon Raiders, but I don't know if I would really consider it as that crown jewel of 100% completion. Now, of course, you don't have to sit there and 100% complete your game at all. It's not something that everyone likes to do. But for those of you who like playing the game and feeling something, I don't know, it feels just insane. Like, honestly, I'll tell you, recently I did Halo 1 Lasso, and man, it was a blast trying to 100% complete Halo 1 Lasso because it just gave me that experience. Maybe it just depends on who you are when you're looking for the game.
I can even make the same point with Breath of the Wild. Honestly, Breath of the Wild might have been the last time that I was like, wow, this is something unique, something we've never seen before, something that is truly special. And then it sort of started to shift. You can say this for hundreds of different games that Nintendo has recently released. With the latest Kirby and the Forgotten Land, that one was an absolute banger. But honestly, it seems like the games are now few and far between than they were banger after banger after banger, but that could just be me.
But the point that I'm trying to make, games don't feel like they used to. It kind of gives me the worries on what in the world is going to be happening with Ocarina of Time. Is it truly going to be a different experience, or is it going to be one that's a little bit watered down, a little bit washed down? You're going to sit there and say, this is another version of Ocarina of Time. I hope that that's not the case, but right now, we are really unsure since the entire gaming industry seems to be taking that one position where games just don't feel memorable anymore. Of course, there could be that one that stands out.
But now if we were going to look at the Metacritic reviews, now of course, Metacritic probably doesn't mean anything to you, but let's just take a look at it. This is mostly the scores and what scored the most. You'll realize that the best game ever made is still The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. There hasn't been anything to top it. And plus, you'll realize that half the games that are the best, the absolute best in the world, were made at least 10 years ago, besides some exceptions with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, potentially Red Dead, and also Super Mario Odyssey. But most of them are created way back. Now, this might say something that maybe the games now, like I'm trying to say, they're not the same like they used to. It doesn't seem like the developers know exactly what the audience wants anymore, but that could just be me. But overall, it's definitely really interesting to take a look at. Even if we were to look at the Nintendo Switch 2 sort of Metacritic reviews, you'll realize that the games on Switch 2 are in fact games that are also on Nintendo Switch. So you got The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Obviously, that is going to be better on Switch 2 because of its power. But essentially what it is, it's still just Tears of the Kingdom, but like better. So it's definitely that. Same thing goes with Breath of the Wild. Hades 2 is not a first-party Nintendo game. You have Hollow Knight, you have Donkey Kong Bonanza, which scored a 91. This is the only one that is in the 90s. And also potentially Pokemon Pokopia, I would consider it. But besides that, there's not really much here. Like the big one, Donkey Kong Bonanza, I'm not going to argue with you. This was an actually really good game. But what if I were to let you in a little secret? I didn't 100% that game. Once I got to a level that felt sort of barren and wasteland, I was like, I want to get past this as soon as possible, so I'm going to get going. Even to this point, I don't think I fully completed that game. It just felt a little bit weird to me. I was just like, this level isn't for me. So, when we're really going to take a look back, does more development time necessarily mean better game? Absolutely not, because sometimes the levels could be feeling less creative and less full of excitement and joy, and like the levels served a purpose. Sometimes the game with longer development time could be more filler content and then adding some more story driven just to make it a 40-hour game instead of a 10-hour game. Because honestly, some of the best games that I've been playing is 10 hours long. I kid you not, 10 hours to complete the game, and I would still consider that the best game. One of the games that I personally enjoy and actually feel something by playing is Skylanders. Yep, I know, hate me in the comment section all you want, but I think Skylanders is an absolute fantastic masterpiece. It just brings a lot to the table and a lot to the formula, allowing you to pick up toys, stick them in the portal. It's like a physical collector's best dream. Because honestly, I've been going down the route of physical collecting for a while now. Just picking up every single physical game that I possibly can. But honestly, if we were going to look at everything we just mentioned, what was your last game that actually made you remember something? Made you feel something when you were playing this game? It could be the most recent one. It could be the one from 20 years ago. It doesn't matter what game it is, as long as it made you feel something. Like, this is a game that, yeah, it was really well built. It was a game that I could play over and over again. I don't know, could be a free multiplayer game like Fortnite. Who knows, as long as the game is up to you. Because, I don't know if it's just me. The Switch 2 feels like the games are good, but they're just like, you know, they're good, but they're not the ones that grab you. They're not the ones that are like, wow, this is something unique. This is something mind-blowing. So hopefully this sort of changes, this sort of shifts in a way and allows you to like, wow, this is a game that I'm absolutely loving. So honestly, from the leak of Grand Theft Auto, I think that, to be honest, it's probably going to be a good game. But right now, 15 years of development, it kind of looks like GTA 5, to be honest. It kind of does. If you saw the leaks, I can't post any here because this video is going to be taken down because very serious about this stuff. But yeah, overall, it's just a definitely very interesting thing.
Are games meant to be better back then? Are now today's games too ambitious, too something that not anyone wants, no one wants, in fact? Or is it trying to sort of recreate something that was good 10 years ago, but not good now? Like sort of like an open world formula, because some of them got really stale. Mario Kart World? No, I'm just saying. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. What is your game that you would consider, yes, I just recently 100% this game. Man, I had a good time doing it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.